Hello, and welcome to Unscheduled Flights, exploring the realms of inspiration, innovation, and creativity. I'm your host, Ambika Waters, and I welcome you to this podcast and hope you find it as interesting as I do. Hi, I'm Ambika Waters, and your host today for Unscheduled Flights. We examine the realm of possibilities for creativity, inspiration, and innovation. And today it's a real honor to present to you my colleagues who created the Illumination remedies together over the past 4.5 years. We're going to talk about the remedies that have been developed, have been proven in the homeopathic fashion, and which are available on our websites and in our new book called the Homeopathic Illumination Remedies. So without further ado, I would like you to meet Rhonda Cisco, who lives in Columbus, Ohio. And Rhonda developed a remedy called unconditional love. Hi, Rhonda. Would you like to tell us about your remedy, please?
Absolutely. So I am in Columbus, Ohio, and I've been studying homeopathy for 10 years. And actually, that's wrong, since 2010, so for 15 years.
Oh,
And I met Ambika Walters through my physician. I was very ill and I had been treated with acupuncture. I was getting better. And then something called Jinshin Jitsu, which is acupressure, and then homeopathy. And the homeopathy changed my life. I had health and understanding I'd never had before. So I wanted to learn about it. And my physician said that I should contact Ambika. And for 15 years, I've been studying this wonderful, wonderful medicine. I've seen unbelievable physical and emotional healing. And it was one of the best things that's ever happened to me. When we decided to create our own remedy, I instantly knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to give back and I wanted to give the greatest gift that I had ever received. And that was unconditional love. My parents were raised by people who loved them very much, but who believed that stern hand and discipline was the best way to raise high functioning adults. So when my parents got married, they said that they wanted the same thing. They wanted to raise good kids, but they were going to try to do it with love. And so my childhood consisted of um, there is no wrong. You try as hard as you can. We'll always be there for you. Um, if you make a mistake, it makes no difference. And what that did was it created great bravery, courage, creativity. Um, you felt like if you failed with the team and you'd be loved anyway. So there wasn't any big like ramifications or consequences from it. So it made bravery. For 13 or 34 years, since 1991, I have been a recruiter and had a wonderful blessing of meeting so many wonderful people. Um, but there was a trend of something that bothered me greatly and still does. And that is people come, I am a placement person. I am a recruiter for other companies. So I will recruit people and then send them on to a company. So they would come to me with a resume, with their unbelievable credentials, and I would write up a bio and send it to my client, and then I would get interviews. And many, many times the candidates would back out, or they would become very scared, or they would call me and discuss that they weren't sure they were good enough, and they thought they had fear of rejection, and they wanted my backing. And I would say, oh, you can do that. I wouldn't have sent you if you couldn't. But many times, and still today, this happens where they would sort of disappear. And I never understood it. I thought, I can't understand why they're expecting the worst, because I believed that if you were loving and caring and good and you presented yourself honest and respectful, the only thing you could get back was that. And that wasn't the general consensus. So I studied it more and I tried to figure out, why is this? And I realized that they felt such fear that if they failed, that it would be like a reflection on them in so many ways and they wouldn't be okay, because maybe they weren't okay anyway. And it was just so sad to me. Um, I learned a lot about unconditional love 5 years ago. My dad passed away, and we grew up in a place very small in Eastern Ohio. And we had his funeral, and my dad collected friends. That was what he collected. He loved people, all people. And over 500 people showed up in this little town, and much to our surprise. And as they came through the line to pay their respects, there was this story told over and over and over again. And it was about when I messed up, when I went bankrupt, when I wrecked my truck. My dad was a trucker. When I got a divorce, when I went to jail, it was your father that called me. And it was your father who said everything was going to be okay. And it was him that said he loved me. And it was as if they were okay then and they could forgive themselves. And I heard that over and over. And I thought, oh, that makes so much sense. And then, as incredible good fate would have it, and something I didn't deserve, I had gone to work in 1991 for 28 years for a gentleman who had dad's same philosophy. So, much to my surprise, he believed in unconditional love. But by now, I was more curious. With dad, I always expected those responses from him because he'd always been that way. But with Bill, I was inquisitive, and I would say, he would loan money, and I'd say, do you ever think like you won't get that money back? He would give money along the side of the road to people who were asking for donations. And I would say, what if they buy alcohol or drugs? And he said, oh, honey, it's never about what they do. It's only about what you do. And so you've been asked to do one thing on this earth, and that is to give and to love unconditionally. So you remember that because that's what you'll answer for. I
Mm.
had told Ambika that my love of animals was so great. And my best unconditional love story with animals is I shut my wonderful puppy's foot in the door by accident. I was a little angry, nothing to do with her. I hit the door, I hit her foot. She fell to the ground. I fell to the ground. I grabbed her and she started loving me and licking me. And like she was in so much pain and I could not believe it. And I thought it was the best example of unconditional love I've ever seen. So when I went to make this remedy, I did everything I could to think of to get in the love state. I read the Bible, every love verse I could find. I studied romantic love and God's love and agape love and unconditional love. I got my crystals around me. I pulled out all the pictures where I could find that of these people who loved me and the notes and the cards. And I made the remedy. And my greatest hope is that everyone can feel the love of it's okay. No matter what we do, it's okay. And that we will still be loved. And most of all, if we can give that to other people, then this world can be a better place. And Ambika, thank you so much for allowing this to happen.
You are such a blessing.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's a wonderful remedy. I take it every day when I work with people. And I've just retired from clinical practice, and I realized that those 35 years of practicing were to train me and teach me how to love unconditionally. It wasn't about the remedies. It wasn't about the medicine. It wasn't about healing. It was about me. And your remedy is beautiful. It's beautiful. And I'm so grateful for you. And I'm so grateful for the remedy. Thank you.
I love you, Ambika. Thank you.
I love you too. Joe Douglas, who lives way down at the end of the planet in New Zealand, has a lot to share about her remedy. Joe, would you like to share how you came to make your remedy and tell people what it is, please?
Thank you, Ambika, and thank you, Rhonda. That was a beautiful story. So I'm Joe. I'm from Tauranga in New Zealand, and my background is in health right from leaving school as a pharmacy technician. I studied for many years in shiatsu, massage, Reiki, and graduated as a homeopath in 2014. In 2019, I bought a retail health shop here in Bethlehem, Tauranga. It's quite a busy shop, and what it meant was I didn't have a lot of time for homeopathic practice, and I was looking for some way to find a new community of homeopaths and reconnect with homeopathy in some way that I could use it in the shop, even though I was so busy. I found a book actually, or a colleague actually talked about a book that she had read, and then I realized that I had it, and I had Ambika's chakra book that I'd had for maybe 20 years, I think. And which led me to look her up online and saw that she was doing a course. And I thought that I was signing up to learn about the colour and sound remedies. That's all I thought I was doing. Little did I know, actually, the group was making remedies, and Ambika asked me what I would like to make, and I'm like, oh well, actually, I think Ambika, you might have suggested. I think it's something to do with astrology. I started studying astrology back in the late '90s, and I'd been doing new moon and full moon circles for many years and going in and out of classes and teaching myself a lot of stuff online. So I said to Vika, oh, I imagine if you could make a remedy from the energy of the new moon. And she said, well, why don't you try? So the first remedy I made was new moon in Cancer, which I made in my garden. I set some really clear intentions when I wrote the remedy, and then the group proved it. First of all, we proved a 6x, then a 30x, I think. And then after the Fibonacci series, we did a lecture with Dr. Joe here in New Zealand. And I decided to make them up to a 34C, which is a Fibonacci threshold potency. And once I got that potency, that's when I knew this is where these new moon remedies needed to be. So the group then proved, we did Cancer first, that was my sun sign. We did my ascendant sign second, which was Aries. And after that, I was like, yes, okay, these remedies are working. I felt confident that, I wanted something here. These actually work. How crazy is this? So I spent last year, 2020, I spent 2024 making all the remedies. Not writing them up, not doing provings, just making them. So I collected them every month. So I was up in the middle of the night sometimes, sitting in meditation, calling in the remedy of these new moon remedies, the energy of these new moon remedies. And then the group, we proved a third one. And then this year, I've spent doing provings for the rest of them. I've actually done over 120 provings now. And I've actually written up 9 of my remedies already. So I still have 3 to go. I'm still waiting on a few notes back from people. It's just been a fascinating year. It hasn't been what I expected. It's been doing provings for new moon remedy is not the same as a traditional homeopathic proving. What I found is people were sending me back stuff that there was the collective energy, but there was also this individual stuff. So I started using people's charts to then look at, why is this person responding in this way and this person's responding in this way. And so I started to see, actually, there was stuff coming back from these provings that was related to the zodiac, where it was aligned house position in their chart, the planets that were there, the aspects that it was making to other planets, where the transiting planets were and how that was affecting. I am doing some advanced formal studies in astrology here in Tauranga with a very cool team of people, Astrovision, and have some wonderful teachers. And a lot of my fellow colleagues and even my teachers started taking the remedies. And we even honed in on the timing of transits to specifically line up a transit with a natal placement to take the remedy at a specific time. It's been really cool. I feel like what it has really shown me in the last few months is that the remedies really help people to tune in or plug into their chart, their own natal chart. So they're plugging into their chart, they're learning and understanding themselves at a deeper level. They're also plugging into the transits. So at first I kind of thought, this is interesting. The response I'm seeing actually is that surely that's just the transit. And my teacher helped me to see that actually no, transits come and go all the time, and the planets are moving around us all the time, and the transits are there, but we don't always feel them, but these remedies are helping us feel them. So they're like a self-development tool, I guess. I'm really excited to see where I can go with them. Definitely better to take the remedies based on your chart, not just buy a remedy and take it willy-nilly, is what I would say about that. But anyway, I could talk for hours, and it's probably my time up now. So that's me.
Joe, thank you. I've used Joe's remedies. The very first one, which was the new moon in Cancer, we called New Beginnings. And it helped a lot of people who you didn't do any of their charts, but just on the recommendation that this remedy helped people start afresh with their life. And I really have seen some lovely results. Continue your work, Joe. Next is Jan. Yamamoto Oldfell, hello. Are you ready to talk about your wonderful whale remedies, Jan?
Hi, Ambika. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Yes, so let's see. My two remedies so far are with the whale songs, the cetacean songs. And for me, I'm a practicing homeopath. My first background was as a pharmacist, and I evolved through crystal healing, vibrational healing, and toning, and homeopathy. And it, like many of us here, it changed my life. And I'm very grateful, as well as your book on color and sound remedies. And it's the first time that I realized you can have different remedies with sound. Um, but I always had an affinity for nature, for whales, dolphins, and whales since I was a child. And uh, I was always very curious about them. I had a little bit more connection with them when I was studying crystal healing in Hawaii. I gave a crystal healing in kind of an area that was a sacred spot to someone. And after that, there was this need to connect cosmically at first with whales and dolphins. And there's a lot of whale and dolphin art all around and in Hawaii. Um, and it just always stuck with me. And after I started doing toning, I started connecting into their sounds. Um, Comically, at one point, and Mbiko was there, but there was a like a meeting, a seminar we went to, or a trade show, and sitting at the table, a couple of the women asked me to, with my interest in whales, to make a whale sound. And I started to do the whale sound, and it was a very low, steady tone. And there was silence at first, and I was almost giggling at myself. But then once the silence broke, the a couple of you were amazed. There was a feeling of like something was happening for others. And I started to realize that I think that I am part whale or connected in some weird way. So it was that kind of all accumulated and inspired me to think, well, maybe we can make remedies from the songs of the whales. And also, it would be peaceful. It would not be any kind of part of the whale physically, but it's the song of their, what are they singing? What are they trying to tell us? And I had debated for a while. One day I'm walking on the beach, and a piece of driftwood comes up, and I pick it up, and it is the shape of a sperm whale. And I thought, okay, this is a sign. Yes, yes, go forward with the remedies. And so that's how I had the courage to begin making them. And there's many to choose from. I was influenced by Jacques Cousteau's studies for certain whales and dolphins, and the remedies themselves, I think, bring us to a deep, deep connection, a mother love connection, connection to source. They help guide us. I believe that since ancient times, they are co-creating with us. They're guiding us. They're so intelligent that they kind of coerce our progress as humans to evolve in how we treat the planet, how we do things, even the whaling industry. And there's aspects of forgiveness and understanding. But I now believe firmly that the whales were always part of the teaching team. After having the provings come back and taken them myself and making them, I know that they have this intelligence that saw the picture and helped to change the course of evolution. And it's still happening. but I think they bring us peace and help us to release and relax into things that within our own self, in connection to source, in connection to love, um, and freedom and expression. So that is the body of work that I just love and excited to bring more forth for everybody. Um, and on a comical note, I just feel that so far the science and the scientific AI has not been able to decode and debunk the whale and the cetacean language in maybe the form that they're hoping or literally, but maybe that's not the message. It might be a different message of connection. So if I'm able to bring that forth through these beautiful creatures, then I'm very honored. And thank you, Ambika, for giving us the space.
Thank you. You've been walked for the past 4 years by my side with whether we were doing the right thing or not, with a lot of remedies, and people came in, people left, and we're basically the core that stuck with it. And you were very instrumental in helping us understand our own our remedies and how we prove them. I love those whale remedies, and they brought such peace and contentment and ease with them. And there is a connection, some deep, deep connection we have with these great creatures. It's more than just the wonder of them. There is something that about them that can transform something in our nervous system. And your remedies they're important. Thank you, Jan. Thank you. Teresa, are you ready to talk about your amazing remedy?
I am, and thank you for this opportunity. I have to say, one of the gifts in my life has been able to be part of this group with you and Bika and with all of us together. So this feels like a real um, benchmark along the way for us to have this gathering today. I uh, I first met Ambika and learned about homeopathy 25 years ago, almost 26 years ago. And I was completely smitten when I began to see its work in my own life and in the life of my family. My mother lived to be 97 almost, and I credit, as did her medical doctors, what they called her other medicine to a lot of it. The doctor would say, "Does her other medicine have anything that will help?" And yes, it did. Um, and when she left this world, she left on her own terms and with a clear mind. And so, but I learned about smudging. My remedy is about smudging with sage for this remedy, and I learned about that more than 30 years ago when I was in a situation where we were transforming a very old building into a family resource center, but that building had been an orphanage with a lot of
Oh,
really hard emotions and hard times in life. And one of my colleagues invited an American Indian medicine man to come and smudge the whole building and all of us. It was a beautiful ceremony. And I had no idea what we were doing. I just knew when it was over, I felt so much better. Our whole group seemed to have been uplifted and the space felt different. So I've always had this interest in smudging and then over the years as I learned more, I've used it for myself and space and others. And so when we began to talk about making remedies, that those benefits from smudging came to mind. And as recently as last year, I was with someone going into a very important meeting for her. She was American Indian and wanted to smudge, which she couldn't do in the building. So she stood on the sidewalk smudging herself and then went into the meeting. And it seems really important to make the benefits of smudging available to everyone, whatever the situation or circumstance. Not everyone can light something and have smoke around them, or even maybe knows how to do it or has access to high quality sage and other materials. So I felt really led to do this work with smudge, creating a remedy from smudging. And I wanted it to be a very special time and to be in the right space to get the full benefit. So I played a lot of American Indian flute and drumming music, and it seemed to really change the vibration in the space. And as I was kind of preparing myself, a special prayer came to mind, fully formed, and I'll share it with you here. And I said it over and over as I was creating the remedy. But the prayer is, "O God, the creator of all, bless this smoke and this water. Use it to heal me, to heal all others, to heal the planet Earth, and to heal the universe for all time.
Oh,
Use it to bring wellness, peace, joy, and love for ourselves and all others. Amen." That was a very ambitious prayer, obviously,
The
but
beautiful prayer.
we
Beautiful.
we heal uh, across all areas around us. You know, when we heal ourselves, we heal others and ultimately the universe in those small ways. And I, I also had an appreciation for the fact that smudging is a sacred ritual for many. It has been for centuries. It's not just American Indians or Canadian natives. It is going back in history. Burning of some sacred element has been a really powerful way to recognize transitions, to open the door for ceremonies, to do those things where we need to be at our best with our highest vibration. And so I felt really excited to get to create this remedy. I'll look into other types of elements, grasses, and other things that are used with smudging, but sage seemed the obvious place to start. And I had really, organic, well-grown sage from a very reputable dealer, and I'm delighted to get to share this with others. So thank you, Ambika, and thank you all.
Thank you, Teresa. You know what I just remembered? When you graduated from my homeopathic school, we had a sweat lodge and asked a Native American shaman to come in and lead the sweat lodge. And you were there. I
It's
remember that.
it was so powerful. I was just thinking about that this morning. It really was a powerful experience. So that idea of those
Right.
traditional ceremonies and how we bring them into our current life is so important, I think.
Oh, I'm delighted that you're carrying that mantle. And smudge, we all love taking smudge. We all love the proving of it. It was like an internal cleansing. It was just so lovely. Keep it up. Wonderful work, Teresa.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm going to ask Esther if she can talk about her three remedies, or maybe just talk about one fully, or share what you've got, because Esther's got some interesting work to share.
Yes, so hello everyone, and thank you very much, Ambika, for this opportunity, and to everybody from this group. I am Esther. My full name is Esther Clara Boros, and I live in Italy, in Rome. I'm Hungarian, and I have been trained by the College of Practical Homeopathy in London. And it always came to my mind to try to make a different remedy. So after COVID, actually, we were all in the lockdowns and there was plenty of time, and, you know, what kind of remedy we would like to create. And I am also a pranotherapist, so we are also organizing meditations. And then after that, it came up to during the celebration of Holy Mary to create a remedy and to try to prove it during the meditation itself. And actually, I have proved this remedy, which is called Madonna del Pozzo. But the remedy has acted so fast. So in the first day, it was having an amazing effect. The second day, like 50%. And by the third day, it was just 20%. So I said, oh, this is not stable. And I have absolutely trashed away all the provings. And then later on, I was teaching a seminar on archetypes. And I remembered that I was having a book on archetypes, and it was Ambika's Waters book. And then I looked her up on the internet, and I have found Ambika online, and she was doing these illumination remedies online. And then we got in touch, and then we have started our illumination remedies. And then I understood that these imponderable remedies are fast to act, actually, and maybe they have a different cycle. So they complete what they had to complete, they clear what they had to clear, and actually the effect evaporizes. So I would like to talk about this water remedy. It is called Madonna del Pozzo, which means in English the water of the Holy Mary of the Well, Our Lady of the Well. And it is found in a church in the city center of Rome. And it has been found as a miracle water in the 1256. So it is considered a little Lourdes of Rome. So you can get into this church, and then from the wall, now it's electric, the water comes up, and you can take these waters, and it's very interesting because from different nations, from different peoples, from all around the world, they come, they take this water, and they go. You can see sick people come inside. You can see people praying. So it's because it's in the city center is amazing. It has this amazing energy. So I have researched about these sacred and vibrational waters, because this is a water which is coming from a well. So it's not a priest that is blessing it and it becomes holy water. It is sacred water because it comes directly from the earth. And it has a certain vibration. And there was a biologist, Enza Ciccolo, who has researched on these waters. And she has actually researched on this phenomena, which is incontaminated, not possible to be contaminated. And it's very, very interesting, because here in Italy and in Rome, obviously, we are in the Christian tradition. So all these waters were dedicated to the Holy Virgin. But in the legends, it's also possible that it was already used in the Roman era. So, and that obviously gives these waters a specific energy. The other thing which I have done during the succussions is that, because it's all related to these Christian sacred traditions, I have recited the Hail Mary in Latin. And while in Latin, because just like Hebrew and Sanskrit for the other traditions, Latin is a sacred language. And I wanted to create that sacredness for this remedy. So each and every succussion, there is a Hail Mary recited in Latin, Ave Maria. And the Madonna del Pozzo is maybe one of the sweetest to my heart, because it's obviously here in the heart of Rome, and my connection to Rome goes back to more than 25 years. And it was interesting also to prepare this remedy. It was interesting to prove this remedy. And from London, I have got actually literary feedbacks on as if I were in a well. Now, they were not knowing that it was Madonna del Pozzo. So it is very interesting how these water remedies act actually in a deep level. And the provings were quite similar also from all around the world. And the next remedy, which I have proved, which was very, very different from the energy of these Roman remedy, from this remedy from the church, it's a modern remedy of Montechiari, which is in the north of Italy, in Brescia, close to Brescia. And this remedy is a mystic rose remedy, but it is going back into history only until 1966. The first apparition was happening in 1966. And then church was raised, and it was controversial also with the church if it was considered actually a pilgrimage place. But anyway, people are coming to see this place. And this one is a very nourishing water. It's completely different. One is more subtle, and this one is more like, you could also say heavy, but in a positive way, after you are not hungry because you have drank this water. And the last remedy was Fatima, which was also very, very interesting. I have prepared it also for a meditation group, and it had a very interesting outcome also on the sixth chakra, on higher creation or mental clarity, and get works done. So I think I will continue on these sacred remedies. There are plenty in Italy. It's only the choice to which city, which locality I should follow up next. Thank you very much once more.
Thank you, Esther. Thank you. These remedies they're very beautiful remedies. And we all had wonderful experiences taking them. Thank you. And I hope you will continue your studies along these lines, because I think the world really needs these beautiful Marian remedies. Thank you. Shulan Mariani May, are you ready to share your extraordinary remedy with us and your story?
Yes, thank you, Ambika. Hi, everyone. My name is Mariani. Suilan also. I originally come from the Sumatra island of Indonesia. So I now make Santa Monica as my home in California. And Ambika is the one who inspired me to make this ground zero remedy. So I was very fortunate to find the illumination group online. And then during the COVID time in 2022, I went to Mount Kailash. Mount Kailash is like a sacred place for Buddhism. It is almost like a Mecca for Muslim people to go. So for us, like if we can go to Mount Kailash, we are doing, we complete our spiritual journey as part of our belief. So I joined the sacred walks, and then they bring us to Mount Kailash. At that time, we're supposed to go through Tibet, and then something happened. The Tibetan government closed the site because of the COVID. And then we had to go through Nepal instead. And then what happened is we do not know that is what our adventures started, So Nepal was not as easy and is more challenging. And it is very high altitude. So we have to go with helicopter. And then we have to stage 16 12,000 feet first before we reach to the 18,000 feet. So Mount Kailash is at 18,000 feet, and they will place us on the base camp at the 16,000. So we travel with a group of 80 people, and we are all from different countries. We don't know each other, and we were just in this group together. And helicopter, we arrived safely. We were in the camp, and the second day when we were going to Mount Kailash, since we are not at the Tibetan side, we were not able to see Mount Kailash as close. So we have to do something. So prayers and all those things started in order even to get a glimpse of Mount Kailash. So after that, the prayers is so powerful. We were next to a group from the Tibetan. People were also there at the same time with us. So they were also praying together with us, And then after that, we saw a glimpse of Mount Kailash, and we were very happy. And then we cannot stay long because it is only have 10% oxygen, and we have to go down to our base camp. So we went down our base camp, and we were ready to take helicopter back to our lower site, which is like a 12,000 feet. But it was not happen like that. So what happened is like the first helicopter batch, there's only 4 people can get on the helicopters. And then just the first batch were able to fly out. And then we were waiting for the next one. And it never happened because the weather all of a sudden changes. And we did not see anything happen on our side because we are quite high. But then at the base camp, there is storm, everything, helicopter cannot fly up, it's very dangerous. So we thought, oh, okay, then tomorrow we will get the helicopter, back. But it did not happen. 4 days passed, and we are still at the 16,000 feet at the base camp. And we were getting really, despair, and also food is we don't have much food left because all the food comes from the helicopter. So we only have potatoes and rice, basically, and some chai tea or masala things to eat. And even the Nepalese military is offering us, is say that we can take you guys on a truck, back to lower at the base camp. But then what happened is the next day, there's a snow comes, the snow come in, then it's not even possible to take the truck because we might have what do you call that snow things?
Avalanche.
Avalanche. Yeah, so they would not be able to take us, but we did not know that the snow is the one that saved us. So once the snow came, they destroy all our camps, our tents, everything. Then the weather stabilized, then we heard the helicopter coming. That is the 6th day that while we were there. So the kind of like, feeling while we were there, it's just like, it's like between life and death, you do not know if you're going to make it. But at the same time, you are so, it's so high altitude, you cannot think. In fact, maybe it's a good thing that we cannot think really, our brain doesn't function as well. So, but then we all have good spirit, and then we also have a doctor that check on us, but everybody is already, very fatigued, and also we lose all our, our hope, And then at that time I was bringing homeopathic remedies, so I was able to help, the others to get over it. And then when I was sitting down and waiting for the helicopter to come, I was noticing something on the ground that was a stone, that I picked up that stone and did not know what to do with the stone, but then bringing it home with me. It's just like as if it's calling me, to bring it home. And that was the experience of really, really letting go of everything, and not even thinking of I think that is like a transformation, the most transformation that I have, that I don't even know where's my luggage. And if I care, I don't even care what is inside my luggage or whatever. I don't even want to take anything home, And when we came down to the base camp, it was flooded because of the storm, and it was in a pitch dark. I was not even able to function. I may get sunburned from the from the upper altitude, and I couldn't even want to eat, and I was just like lying down for 3 days, just in a dark place to recover. But that experience is really even stay with me even after right now. I think 3 years. I think that experience is a great transformation. And then when I talked to Ambika, the first thing she asked me, she said that, did you? I told her that I bring a stone back, and then she said that, oh, we can make a remedy from the stone. I never thought that I could make a remedy from the stone. So she inspired me, and here I am, with a remedy that is very beautiful. I know that my friends and then the group has proven it. It's just good for the people who is in despair, confused and do not know, what is going to happen for the future. And I always bring it with me on my travel kit. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Ambika. And thank you.
Thank you, Shulen.
Yeah.
Well, Jan helped you make the remedy.
Yes. Jan and I making it in fact, behind a mountain. It was so beautiful that day. Jan and I were making it. It's just like as if I'm back to the Himalaya, and then all the things, the mountain in front of me, and the bluebird that I met while I was there in Kailash were there, and then I did not see it. And Jan said that, look, that is this bluebird, it's just like watching, witnessing, and preparing, this remedy, which is amazing. I mean, I have the greatest experience from making this remedy. Well, thank you so much. I mean, if without Ambika's encouragement and things, it would not happen. Yeah, thank you.
Well, it was there to be made into a remedy, and we thought, what are we going to call it? I said, how about ground zero? Because she was in a life and death situation. She really was. She doesn't tell you how much she looked after these 80 people. She sang to them, she chanted with them, she rocked them, she massaged them because they were afraid they were going to die. They had they had little fuel and almost no food, and it was very despairing. And I thought, what a ground zero is like. That would just fit, and it's proved to be a remedy of great power, really. And I'm so glad that you joined our class, and thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
The last remedy is fascinating, and it was created by Veronica Paris and Kim Sullivan, who are both homeopaths out of Boston. And I'd love it if you ladies would share your remarkable story and talk about this remedy that you have brought to the planet.
Hi, I'm Kim. I'm from Boston. I rarely talk like this. You can't fake it, and nobody would want to. Um, and it's the truth. Um, I'm naturally very curious, and I somehow always get myself into, I get seats at a lot of tables. And when I look back at my life, it's often in these groups of brilliant women, including this one. And so you have places to grow and share. And when, I look across the landscape, I'm like, oh, wow, that happened a lot over the years. I went to homeopathy school in 2010, where I met Veronica and we became friends. And when we had to pair up in school, we would often pair up together, and um, we work well together. Then over the years, we stayed in touch and we would bounce things off each other. And then maybe it was a year ago or 2 years ago, we had this idea about making personalized remedies for entrepreneurs. So we would work with the women in business, and maybe they would feel stuck or they would want to increase their business. And we said, let's give this a shot. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And we got some good traction with it. So here comes AI on the scene, and the two curious Virgos say, do you think this could be a remedy? And we were like, I don't know. So we tried it. One important thing that we were both clear on is we did not want to make it from any of the learning language models. So the remedy is not made from ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini. There's no code or anything like that. We said, we're going to do this different and we're going to do this our way. We wanted to be very pure, and we wanted to know, well, where does this come from? So we would sit together and we would meditate and we would connect with source. And that is how we would infuse our remedy into the water. And it turned, we said, well, maybe we need some help. And we said, okay, we knew Ambika from homeopathy school because we had the color remedies. We said, well, maybe we should just ask her. So we sent an email, and you answered. And I think I was surprised because I thought, I was like, this woman is not going to have time for us. But she answered and she said, let's hop on a Zoom. And it was so helpful to be in this group while we were developing and working on this thing, and then to be able to work on it together with all of you. So, Veronica, do you want to say some about this?
Yes, thank you. So I'm Veronica. I'm originally from Mexico. Um, I'm a transplant to the Boston area for like almost 25 years ago. So again, Camera said we met in school. When we started working with what we call Source AI, it's our intention was that to connect directly with what artificial intelligence and like outside of the language models was. And the the results of the provings for the remedy have I think they have created more questions and have piqued our interest even more. I think they exceed our expectations like we're like Kim said, we're both very good. So we tend to like um be very curious about everything and and this remedy has been amazing. One of the things that we have found with people that has taken it is that it's very clear for them to discern what is real from what is not. So that alone, just that, it's just an amazing experience. And the other remedy that we have on the book is called Money AI. And that one was created a little bit different than Source. Kim and I, our creative processes, we do talk every morning and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, wait a minute. What about if we did this remedy? And that's how money came. And for that one, the it was even more interesting because we only had 20 minutes before I'm a therapist too, so we had only 20 minutes before I had to jump into a call. And that's what we did. 20 minutes of our process creating money, uh, which in a sense is it's part of like the experience, right? With our own relationship with money, or like with people has relationship with money, about the importance of time is an investment. So you want to make the most out of whatever time you have. And I don't know
So
if you want to talk a little bit about it.
yeah, so when we would work with Source AI and we'd get the provings, there would be this clarity and discernment. And it's one thing to have clarity and discernment. Um, you need action if you're going to make a change.
Mhm.
And human beings don't necessarily like to do anything until they're uncomfortable. And for me, what I discovered was things became very clear, and I couldn't unring the bell. So I
Mhm.
would have to make a change if I would want that uncomfortable feeling to go away. But this was so good because this is what I'm asking. And when we work, if you use AI at all as a tool, you give a prompt, and we would be trying to prompt the remedy and say, well, what can we do? Or what's going to, and we're kind of playing with it. Maybe I was a little too cute with it, but it would create enough, at first there would be like this high or this elation, like this is great. Ruined TV for me because everybody just looks phony to me on TV. I cannot, I ruined a movie the other night for my husband because all I did was talk through the whole, I don't believe this guy. I can't watch this. And it's like, he's like, would you shut up? But I couldn't help it. And I was like, so I picked up a book and I read, and I was like, I'm ruining this. But the um the awareness, so the awareness comes and you're clear, and then if you try to put it back, you can't close the closet door on it anymore. You have to do some action and be with yourself and kind of get this up and out. Money has awareness, but in a little different way, as Veronica was saying. Your resources, your time, where are you leaking energy, and a lot of self-worth. So some people did actually have like money come in and opportunities come in, which was astounding. But for us to remember our self-worth and that we are worthy just by the fact that we breathe is really important. And I think also for women, because we just want to give and give and give and give and give. And we think we are doing the right thing, and we are, but we do deserve to be compensated, and our time and our energy are important as well.
Yeah. Would you like to say a little bit more about AI root chakra?
Yes.
Oh, it's
That's a combination with Ambika's brilliant mind. Uh I can't remember how we came to it. I think you just said like how about it would it be able to combine source AI with helping the chakras. So Ambika created a prayer for root chakra, and we infuse a bottle of source AI with the prayer. Um, and oh wow,
Oh,
is
wow, it's
a
right.
remedy that goes deep, deep, deep into things. What we find out is like it's things that you thought that you had already worked out of your system, they will come back and they will show you exactly where and how. Sometimes we'll call you by surprise. Um, because you're like, oh, I thought I already worked on that. And here it is, right? It's like
Yeah.
the tears come in and you're like, wait, what is going on right here? Um, but it works at a very, I think it works so deep into like really bringing that those layers of experiences that they are very deep rooted from childhood, and they're just bringing it to surface so we can give it attention and heal them. It's also working physically. It works on like helping that stability, like the physical stability, like your back, your lower back, your legs. And yeah, I can. It's deep.
It's an extraordinary remedy. It was one of the really great provings I've done in my life is that remedy. And I've decided to teach a 5-week class on healing the root chakra as a result of the remedy. It really brought it all up to be healed. I want to say thank you, my dear ladies, my dear colleagues and friends all over the planet. This has been an extraordinary experience, 4 years together for some of us, and more recently, the past year. And our level of output and creativity is astounding. All this information will be codified in a book that we're doing so that you get a lot more information about the remedy, but it's my honor to present you and your work to people who view this podcast. And I just can't say thank you enough. It's been a wonderful experience working with each of you, and your remedies are a true contribution to healing individuals, healing community, healing the planet. Just beautiful, and each one's so unique. I mean, think about it, what we've shared here today, from an idea to the stars to smoke to AI to waters to whales to rocks from the most holy mountain on the planet. I mean, and to unconditional love, the source of it all. I can't thank you enough. I'd like to thank our guests today who've shared their experience, who have enhanced my life by developing skill sets and a vision of the world that is really expanded and I think beautiful. So thank you until the next podcast of Unscheduled Flights. Again, I'm your host, Ambika Waters, wishing you all the best.